Hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another project presentation on 360DigiTMG. I am Roma Tyagi. Today, me and my teammates explain you about our project Credit Score Analysis for Retailers in Pharma-Retail Industry. In this project, we covered on RFM analysis and predict a classification model that can help the business to take future strategic decisions and achieve their objectives. Next slide. We had complete our project under the regular guidance of our mentors, Mr. Sharath Manikonda and Mr. Bharat Kumar. Next slide. These are my teammates, Vinay Kumar Bauduri, Divya Divyangan, Mani Krishna Ramachandran, Uma Mahesh Chinta, Dr. Lubna Siddiqui, and myself, Roma Tyagi. Next slide. These are the content that we are going to cover in our presentation. Project objectives and constraint, crisp ML project methodology that we followed in our project, technical stacks that we used, project architecture actually tells you about the flow of project, data understanding, data pre-processing and EDA steps, RFM analysis, model building, deployment, and conclusion. Next slide. Now the project overview and scope. The purpose of this document is to outline the high-level design of the credit scoring for retailers and provide an overview for the tool implementation. The main purpose of this project is to find the customer lifetime value so that can help the business in terms to maximize its area and economically both. Now the scope is credit scoring for retailer is an application which gives a better understanding of the business and provide a better insights for a valuable customers. Next slide. Now the project goals and objective. Its goal to find buyer frequency pattern through transaction data and also build a classification model. And the objective is to increase the business growth by identify high value customers. Business also have some success criteria to achieve. Like business success criteria is to increase business growth at least by 5%. ML success criteria to build a model with more than 90% accuracy, and economic success criteria to reduce the credit line by 2%. Now my teammate Mani Krishna explain you further.
Thanks, Roma, for that. So hello everyone, I am Mani Krishna Ramachandran. I'll walk through you the further slides of topics relating to crisp MLQ methodology, technical stacks, and project architecture. So what we now see is a crisp ML methodology framework where crisp MLQ stands for cross-industry standard process for the development of machine learning applications with quality assurance. So basically we have 6 phases of this crisp ML methodology. So we will try to see in detail of each phase in brief now. So crisp MLQ methodology is nothing but it is a systematic process model for the machine learning software development that creates an awareness of the possible risk and emphasizes quality assurance to diminish these risks to ensure the machine learning project's success. So kicking off the crisp ML methodology, we have to start with business understanding, then data understanding, follows with the data preparation, followed by the machine learning modeling, followed by the evaluation phase, and then deployment phase. So let us see each phase of crisp ML methodology in brief. So first, with the business understanding and data understanding, where we try to understand the business problems and objectives. So we try to identify the scope of the ML application, the success criteria, and the data quality verification. The main goal of this phase is to ensure the feasibility of the project. We gather the success criteria along with the business, ML, and economic success criteria in this phase. Where these criteria are requested to be, where these criteria measures are required to be measurable. In addition to this, it also ensures all the stakeholders to specify data availability, regulatory constraints, and application requirements such as robustness, scalability, explainability, and resource demand as well. As the data gives a process, data collection and data quality verification are essential to achieve business goals. The documentation of data statistical properties is very much important. The data requirement should be stated and documented as well because it becomes a foundation for the data quality assurance check devising the ML project operational phase. The next comes the data understanding, where we try to understand the data. This is a very important phase where we try to understand the data, like whether it is continuous or a discrete data. And also and this is a phase called the data collection phase, and we must also be aware like how the data is exactly be fetched. So also attached with, we have a data version control, data description, data requirements, and data verification. Then comes the data preparation phase, where we do the data EDA part, which is nothing but the data exploratory data analysis part. We do the exploratory data analysis, data on the data by cleanse the data, transform the data, you just find the outliers, you remove the duplicates, you find the missing values, you transform the data and keep the data into a specific format. For that, you do normalization or standardization. So you do extensive EDA, and also you carry out auto EDA, the auto exploratory data analysis technique as well. Then comes the modeling phase. Modeling phase is nothing but where you exactly train the particular machine learning model. You employ some machine learning models in specific to train the data. And also it includes model selection, model specialization, and model training tasks. Sometimes, depending upon the business applications and business problem, we may also employ some pre-trained models as well, or some ensembling techniques to get the final ML model. Next comes the evaluation phase, where here in this phase, we try to test or predict the model using the test data. The performance of the trained model is evaluated or validated on this unseen data. The outcome of this evaluation phase is noted down for the later improvements. Then comes the deployment phase. This is the last phase where we actually try to employ the machine learning model in this phase using Flask. So I'll explain you the Flask library in the next slide. Then after this, one more thing we have, that is called monitoring and maintenance. In that monitoring and maintenance phase, we just try to monitor the performance of the machine learning model, where we know that machine learning model is put on to the real world data. So the monitoring of data is an important task. So where if we find that the monitoring is not happening on a regular basis, the model staleness may occur. So for that, we may the ML model drops it as it starts operating on the test data. So we have to perform the monitoring task continuously and take decisions whether the model needs to be retrained or not. This is called the continuous model evaluation pattern. So this is the brief of overview of this CRISP MLQ methodology. Next slide, please. So here we see about the technical stack. So what all the technical stacks we use for this project. So I start with the NumPy. The NumPy package library, we use it for numerical calculations. Pandas is for data manipulation. Matplotlib library is used for data visualization. Seaborn is for advanced, the better data visualization. We get to know the data very much clear. And SweetWiz is an auto EDA, the auto exploratory data analysis package. It is an open source and Python library where it generates beautiful and highly detailed visualization by using only few lines of code. It generates summarized reporting and can help create interactive dashboards as well. The output generated is fully self-contained and HTML application. And also we see HTML, CSS, JS. This is a front-end application page where we use it while deployment. This is a front-end thing. And Flask is nothing but it is a back-end application where we write a back-end code for the deployment of the ML model. Heroku is nothing but it is a cloud source. It's a cloud source provider where we deploy the ML application in it. PyCaret, it is an auto ML library, auto machine learning library where it automates the ML workflows. It effectively speeds up your work, making it much more productive. It automatically splits up the data and train a model. So the whole work is like made easier for us using this PyCaret. So it also it lets different kinds of ML techniques, algorithms automatically and brings the best out of it. So it automatically compares itself and brings the best technique out of it. So this is very much useful for us. And Git is nothing but it is associated with this Heroku cloud source provider. And that's it. So next slide, please. So what we see now here is the exact project architecture. So we see the data pipelining workflow architecture here, the continuous integration and continuous deployment pipeline. So first, where we see there is a SQL ingestion happening at the first phase that is called the data collection, where The data is actually fetched from the MySQL database. Here we use a MySQL database where the data has been injected via SQL, and it is being pushed into the Python environment. So after the data has been pushed into the Python workspace environment, we do the standard workflow process, that is the data pre-processing task, the auto EDA part by using SweetWiz auto EDA library. We use NumPy, Matplotlib, Pandas, and of course we use in Python. So after finishing off the extensive auto EDA and data pre-processing such tasks, now we have the data in a very clean and a very sensible and a very understanding format. So now it is very easy for us to build the model without any error. So now it goes, after this, we also carry an RFM analysis where RFM analysis is very much done to calculate the recency, frequency, and monetary parameters are calculated in relation with the retailers and distributors. It is a method for analyzing the customer values very effectively by quantitatively ranking and grouping customers based on the recency, frequency, and monetary total of their recent to their identifying the top and best customers, and also to perform target marketing campaigns. So in this RFM analysis part, we try to bring out the RFM score is obtained for an accordance with each of the retailers, and also to understand the level of customers in a better way. So after carrying out the RFM analysis part, we go for the model building using PyCaret. So we have employed PyCaret auto ML library, auto machine learning library, where the whole work is done in ease, where it brings out the best model compared to all the techniques, and it also brings out the accuracies and other related parameters as such. After the model building part and evaluation, we go for the deployment, where I previously explained that we use the ML model by using the Heroku cloud source provider, and before Heroku we just use the Flask. As we know that a Flask is nothing but it is a it is a lightweight and a small Python web framework that provides useful tools and features that make creating web applications in Python very easier. So using Flask as a backend and front end as HTML and CSS, after the completion of the backend and front end pages, we go and deploy the machine learning model in Heroku associated with the Git. So once it has been it is deployed, and it is now fine to see our model in a cloud sourced environment. So this is a model deployment. So now, thanks for the opportunity. I now pass to Lubna, where she'll be explaining the further slides. Thank you. Pass over to you, Lubna. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mani. Thanks a lot. First of all, I would like to thank the institution 360DigiTMG and the mentors who have given this opportunity to our team members to present our work. And my explanation will be further continued by the data collection. The data that we collected, it was from the secondary source of information. And this particular data is related to pharmaceutical industry, and it was related to the retailers and their bill amount. The data which was collected, we performed the recency, frequency, and monetary analysis on that. And according to that, the credit score was provided to the retailer so that it may help us to find out the business objectives for the further how we can go for the credit score of the retailers. Coming towards the data that was collected, it was extracted from MySQL database using the connector library providing server, database, and table name. The data which was collected, which was very noisy, but later on we did the EDA part in that. As my team member have already explained on that EDA, how we have done with the various parts that while cleaning all the things, that will be elaborated in the further slides. Coming towards the information of the data which was collected, it was the data types were floats, integers, and objects. And on that, can you please go to the next slide? Yeah, this data information, in this you can see that in the data which was collected, it had 14 columns, and which was a mixture of floats, integers, and objects. Next slide, please. This was the data dictionary, which was the various heads are there. In our data, there were 14 points that was given. First of all, master order ID, in which the master invoice was given. Second, in the second column, we can see that the status of the order was there, date of the particular product which was purchased and time was there, sub order ID and its status, then quantity of the particular item which was purchased, the product name, cost per unit, and product ID, distributor's name from which they have collected the product, and the total price or value, which I can say that quantity in the price per unit. The retailers group were made according to the location. They were basically in the Hyderabad and Gurugram, they was there. And then the retailer's name, it was ID that was being provided which was collected in the data set. Then the total bill amount, that is total value of the master order ID. Okay, so which includes the discount amount also. To the next slide, please. Yeah, these are the various steps. How we after collection of data, pre-processing, it is a very important work that we have to understand the data, we have to do the profiling, we have to clean it, we have to reduce it, and we have to transform it and enrich it, and at the end we have to make it some validation of it. So these were the various steps that were implemented on the data set that was collected. Now I would request my team member to please continue the project.
Thank you so much, Lubna. Hello all, myself Divya, and I will take you through the EDA part. EDA stands for Exploratory Data Analysis, and for EDA, we have used automated EDA library Suiteways. By using this library, univariate analysis is taken care of, and by analyzing each and every report, we derived certain insights. Found 171 null values ordered item in ordered item product ID feature, 3,422 distinct value for ordered item unit price net, and 6,838 distinct value for value feature. Next slide, please. And the highest group of customer is from Hyderabad. Next slide, please. So as we have talked about RFM analysis, so for finding our valuable customer, we did RFM analysis. Here R stands for recency, F stands for frequency, and M stands for monetary. So RFM analysis is a data-driven customer behavior segmentation. The idea is to segment customer based on when their last purchase was, how often they have purchased in the past, and how much they have spent overall. And after calculating the RF and M, we got RFM score, and based on this score, we can now able to see the top customer that you can see in the screenshot. And now we will build our classification model, which will be explaining by my friend Vinay. Thank you.
Thanks, Divya. This is Vinay. In this project, we have used PyCaret for model building, which is an open source low code ML library through which we can do end-to-end ML experiments through very few lines of code. By using compare models function, we comparing all the models in the library to return the average cross validation performing metrics, based on which we would use to create models to train the best performing models, get the trained model output that you can predict. We have got gradient boosting classifier with 90% accuracy. So we are using gradient boosting classifier for prediction. For deployment, we have used Heroku Cloud Application Platform to host our application by using Flask, Git, and UFLs. We deployed the model on Heroku. From here, Mahesh will take over the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinay. This is Uma Mahesh. This is the deployment output of our project, and select the features, and we get the credit score analysis of the retailers. Next slide, please. This is the video of the deployment output of our project. Can you play? The prediction of the retailer credit score analysis, we get the like this. Next slide, please. These are the challenges we are faced during the project. Competition among the distributors, competition among the retailers, lesser sales by the retailers, are not able to maintain the CLV matrix, satisfy the stocks in the warehouse. Next slide, please. These are the future scope of our project. The future scope of this project is it will be helpful to grow the business by knowing the valuable customers. It will give the better insights about the business. It will also encourage the retailers to run their business because based on the scoring company, we will give the rewarded to the retailers and can limit the credit line also. Next slide, please. Next slide. This is conclusion of this project. To conclude the project is that we have to see the ML model achieve more than 90% accuracy, and which gives the good indication of the performance and their reliability. The business growth could be increased at least by 5%, and it will help to knowing the relationship between the retailers and the distributors effectively. The economic success is that it will helpful to reducing the credit lines the less than 3%. And the retailers, pharma clients, when our model, ML model, it will helps to know the top best retailers globally to enhance the transparency and they make a better strategic decisions. Now we are opening the question and answers regarding our project. Next slide, please. If any have any queries regarding the project, ask me. Thank you.